Hey, welcome. I know. For those of you that came around for my Witch Hunter, I haven't uploaded in a while, and other than the occasional clip or some other gameplay that I was doing, I have been streaming over on Twitch though for hours. Come over there, hang out. But before you do that, uh, let's go ahead and break it down, and I'll show you what I've been doing. I decided to roll a or a mercenary again. Only this time chose the new talent tree, which is the Tactician. Unfortunately, I read it wrong and I thought you could maybe take the specters as they're persistent and benefit from the reduction in mana cost. However, it's persistent buffs, so didn't work out the same way. However, that doesn't mean that there isn't a build that you can do. You can find this build on a lot of other channels. This isn't my build. This is just my iteration. I kind of took from bits and pieces from different people. I'm not 100% sure if everything's working as intended. Trinity is a very confusing uh it's weird to me. I think it's benefiting even if you only do one element. It's not the same. I don't know if it's the same as PoE1. So I will point out that that may not be necessary. It may not be useful. You could probably just get a really good companion, which is what I'm trying to find right now. I want to get a companion with haste and hinder if they can come with both of those at the same time. And that would increase my damage and my survivability and help out a lot. I think it would be better than using the Trinity right now anyway. I'm able to do quite a bit of damage, so I'm not too worried about it. Um, Let me go ahead and zoom in for no reason, and we'll take a look. So I have a level 20 artillery ballista. It is 29 from all the plus ones. And it's hooked up to fire infusion, overabundance, primal armament, elemental focus, and martial tempo. Siege cascade. This is what I use while I'm running around. I pop these as well as making sure that I'm always throwing down totems while I'm running, and this will just do extra damage. It's linked up to double barrel, nimble reload, execute, which does a lot more damage to low health enemies, and close combat. This is good for bossing. If you can get up on the boss, you can do a lot more damage. Uh, it is a level 19 and gets the 9 from levels. We do oral grenade to kind of help slow down stuff. This is really good for things like breaches and ritual. This is hooked up to scatter shot, inspiration, and strip away. Just helps with the effect. We got wind dancer on. This may not be the best. However, my defenses are quite low. So we go ahead and put this on. This also allows us to put in precision, maim, and blind. So this, whenever this goes off, if something hits you and you knock them back, things will get maimed and blind. This might be something you could move around. I would suggest if you got a 5 on the oil grenade to just do it on there. Put either blind or maim. Doesn't really matter. Alchemist Boon. This is kind of redundant now because I just upgraded my flask. I'll show you later. But this just gives you flash regeneration, and it's kind of necessary for these builds. You use a lot of mana for Artillery Ballista. It is actually 190 mana every time we throw it down, and some life as well. Time of need. This allows us to get a little bit of recovery and gets rid of curses and elemental ailments. This is just a recurring thing that happens. It happens every 10.7 seconds. In and you can reduce the time it takes. Trinity again. I don't know. It says here 8% more elemental damage with attacks per 50 resonance of any type. And then you just gain resonance of the highest elemental type and lose 2 of the other. Well, if you get 50 resonance with a skill, it doesn't matter if it's just one element, then you should just be getting constant 8% more damage. So Again, I don't know if it's really that good. It may not even be necessary. And then I have a tame beast because I'm still trying to find what I think would be better, and that would be haste aura mainly for the damage, and of course a hinder aura, which can help out with a lot of things. Some things you could do in this build would be things like blasphemy with temp chains. You could throw in, oh, I don't know, uh, maybe the painter's gloves. I know the creator of this build, or at least somebody that's been playing this build. I do apologize, I can't remember his name, but there was somebody that was using painter's gloves. Those things do basically split up your damage, your physical damage, to do 33% of each element instead, converting your fizz. And you could do a tri-element and even a tri-herald build doing that. That is an option, and I have seen it. You can go to PoE Ninja and find all sorts of different configurations. I've seen banners being used with the banner chest. They go around with multiple banners, dropping them all. I find that to be extremely clunky, and I'm not a fan of that. And yeah, so I don't do it. Granted, I would love to min max this, but I have a very strong suspicion that Artillery Ballista will get nerfed. Probably won't get mid league nerfed, but before we see point 3, you're probably going to see patch notes for point 3 that state Artillery Ballista's getting absolutely destroyed. Because a lot of people are using this skill, not even only on Tactician, so we'll see what happens. Real quick, my gear, or my talent points. This is what my talent points look like. I'm taking this, polish that gear for the extra stun and ailment thresholds. Don't really get stunned or get ailments on us very often, so it's actually a pretty powerful node. This would be useful for my current setup. However, I really like the persistent buffs getting 50% less. We get a lot of benefits from that. I feel like if you could just drop this, then you could take this, and you're going to be a lot more tanky. We got pinned right where we want them. This is basically a freeze. You get this really quickly. It takes a little while to build up after the initial one. I don't know if it's um what is that called? Returning I don't remember what it's called, but diminishing returns. That's what it was. Diminishing returns, but it does feel like it takes a lot longer to pin enemies after the initial one. But you will pin bosses and you will pin most enemies within the first couple of seconds, and most things will die with no problems. Pretty easy. The tree itself. This is what most people are doing for their tree. Mine's a little bit different from some. I did take this wheel up here. This gives you a lot of extra area of effect damage for stuns, stun buildup. You got this here, which benefits your totems. Anything that says allies benefits totems, benefits companions, minions, whatever, other players. So there you go. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I need to start putting D&D on when I make these videos. Let's go back to our little spot here. Hey, how you doing? All right. So back to the tree. You're gonna take some evasion and armor. The hybrid stuff. I don't really know if this is the best option. You could come down here, maybe do something like the Witch Hunter was in the previous league, or start, whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, there's a lot of different things you could do. This gives some attack speed. This gives a total of 16% attack speed, which helps you, and blinds on hits. You get your blind from your siege cascade, your artillery. You get blind from your oil grenades. The initial hit, not anything walking into it, but the initial hit of the explosion of the grenades. So that's one option as well, or one wheel that you can take. This could be moved around. You could go for more life sustain up here. I have a little bit right here. Um, Really, it's just a matter of preference. You again, just like my witch hunter build, this is a little bit squishy, so you're gonna have to deal with that. My character is level 91. I'm capped all res. I have 65% evasion and 50% armor. Again, not necessarily the best, but because you're getting armor anyway on the tree, you might as well go with the hybrid. I think you could get better gear and bring that up, but let me take a look at the gear real quick. So here's the gear. Decent stuff, not the best. This could be a better base, but we do go with the spirit. We want to have spirit on there for our buffs, so we can get even more. The helm, not the best. Again, it gives me a lot of life, some strength, some resistances. Same with the gloves, same deal. Boots. The only problem with the boots is that I had to slam it and it gave me mana and attribute requirements. So these boots could be better. That's about it. I just bought this belt. It was 4 modded. It was exactly what I wanted. The 2 charm slots, the strength, the lightning res, and the life. And then it gave me charm effect duration and a low armor roll when I exalted. Par for the course. Rings, this one's okay. Could be better. And this one is an old ring that I've been using for a long time. It's not the best, but it works. Here we have +2 to level of proj skills. You could go up to 3. That would be the ideal amulet. You want to get +3. You want to get life. You want to get some attributes if you need to make up for stuff. And any kind of resistances if you need that as well. Accuracy is not bad to have either because you will need accuracy for your artillery ballistas. I put bestial skin on this to increase my defenses. That may not be the best defense, the best option, but it works and it increases my dexterity, so it helps me out with some of my other stuff. 2 options or two modifiers on your crossbow that you need. These are plus the level of skills, elemental damage with attacks. Everything else doesn't affect your artillery ballista. Why? Because it doesn't use your weapon. It uses its own weapon. So the global elemental damage with attacks, that's fine. That's why it's got elemental attacks socketed in. The +7 to all projectile skills just benefits all of your gems. Also, a reason why the mana cost is so high. You're just going to have to deal with mana cost. The charms, we got poison, freeze, and this one dropped. I'm not saying this is the best. You could go with some of the other options. I know there are some options that I think there's one that gives you rage when you're hit, but you have to be hit for you to get the benefit from that. There's also one that I think gives onslaught, which would also be beneficial. Otherwise, I found this while I was playing, and I was like, you know what? I think this works well. Not really sure. I'll be honest. I don't remember even seeing the consecrated ground on the ground. I don't know. Maybe it's just I just haven't been paying attention. Otherwise, the gear is okay. I think this is better than the Witch Hunter gear that I showcased way back when I was doing the tri-element explosive shot build. Explosive shot, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to go back to it for the time being because they really nuked scatter shot. It still does decent damage. You can still use scatter shot, especially for leveling. But it does start really hurting later on. I don't know what to say. They nerfed it, and we don't have any other options for multiple projectiles. They want us to individually shoot 27 white mobs that will run up to you. Whatever. Anyway, that's the gear. That's the passive tree. That's the skills. I don't know of anything else to look into. Again, we'll put in the PoE Ninja link to just this character so you can take a look at it. If you have any ideas for build that you'd like to see or any builds that you think would be interesting, I am starting to level another um, mercenary for the chance that I might do something else. I don't know, uh, but anything. I'm down to do wonky builds. I don't like doing meta, and this is unfortunately kind of a meta skill this game or this league. So we'll see what happens. Otherwise, follow me here. Follow me over on Twitch at Rogers the Urban Legend, as you would expect. And hopefully, you all are having fun. I'm having a little bit of fun. I hope the game starts to find its direction. Um, I think the campaign is still that hardcore Dark Souls kind of thing. They want to do combos, they want you to have meaningful combat. But then I just did a map a little while ago that had 2,000 mobs in it, and that was 2,000 mobs. It was 100% 2,000 mobs. This one isn't the map, obviously, but you can tell now with this balance device how many mobs were in that map. And I did one that was 2,000, and I'm just sitting here like, how do you have meaningful combat if you're gonna bombard us like that and juice us like that? It wasn't even a juice map. It was just from some of the tablets, and it was just a tier 15. But yeah, hopefully it finds its place and they figure some stuff out. I'm looking forward to some of the future patches, um, and maybe some bug fixes that they need to do. And again, thanks for hanging out. Take a look at the video at the end here, and you'll be able to see how this build fares. And I will catch you all in the next video. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do a map. Looks like we got a stone citadel. Oh, what is this? Sinking spire, crypt. Let's do the sinking spire. I got a T. Let's go ahead and do this and show you what it's like.
On with you.
Yeah, those are new runes. Some of them are. There's others. There's a whole bunch of them now. All right, let's take a look and see what this is. This is T15, level 79. Floor 1 complete. I'm gonna go ahead and do a full clear. And there you have it. That was a T15. Just with a boss. Not too shabby. All right, we'll do a real quick boss. Again, T15.
So,
Let's watch him do his Henry Cavill arm reload.
the demon of Atzoatl has finally come for me.
Oh, there you go. Not only that, but he was also one tier higher. I forgot I have that in my my tree already. So that was a tier 1 or tier 2. I don't know what you call it. But there you go. There's a boss. And I'm not even close to min-maxing this character.